Stellantis' profits last year fell by 70%.
It is profit-sharing season for some auto workers, but for Jeep employees, the payouts will be noticeably different this year.
So I'm at a Jeep Dodge Ram dealership today because Stellantis just reported their earnings.
Net profit for Stellantis was down 70% compared to 2023.
They were absolutely terrible. So over the last year, their profits were actually fell by 70%. That's absolutely insane. And in a lot of cases, we can see why. Well, we had demand just overall in the market that was decreased majorly because of price points. This Wagoneer right here is $123,000. And who has been the greatest offender of price point increase? Well, that's Jeep, Dodge, Ram, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. This one right here is $75,000. And we're seeing it in the numbers that consumers are just saying no. When you increase your prices by the amount that a company like Jeep, Dodge, and Ram has, well, you're going to have this that's sitting behind me. You're going to have vehicles that are stacked up. You're going to have dealerships that can't sell their cars. You're going to have dealerships crying to the manufacturer for help because you're sending us stuff that's way too expensive for our customers. Our customers are coming here and saying, look, I want to buy a car, but I need one that's $30,000, $40,000. And check out this Jeep Grand Cherokee right here. Now, this is the upper level trim. It's the Summit, it's Reserve, it's 2025, so it's one of the new ones, $73,000. I mean, it looks nice, you can see on the inside, but I want to know who the buyer is for this vehicle. $73,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I just don't know. I don't know the audience that they're trying to get with this vehicle. A $73,000 mid-level SUV, $73,000. At that price point, does that consumer go with a Jeep, or do they not just go to BMW? They go to Lexus would be my choice over this. I think you could even get probably a similar level trim, similar package, everything like that, similar size from a Lexus, and maybe even be a little bit under that price point. I don't know, right around that same price point. Who's the customer? Because that customer's not getting pulled from Lexus. They're not getting pulled from Lexus, not to go to a Jeep for the same price point. This is the problem. So here's a really big time problem for Stellantis, and one that they're going to have to figure out going forward. Their operating loss in the second half of last year was $3.1 billion, but they only had a forecast. They only had a forecast of their operating loss to be $1 billion. So they missed that. They missed that by 3 times over. And this is absolutely, this is destruction for a company when you can miss your forecast by that much of how much cash you're going to actually burn. So what's going to come from this is going to be cost cuts, big time cost cuts, where they're like, we got to make up this money somewhere. So people are going to lose their jobs. They're going to have production cuts. They're going to have all these types of things, marketing cuts, all these things that actually help them increase sales, increase production of vehicles. A lot of that has to get cut because people are not buying these things, and it's creating this massive cash burn that they could not predict seeing. They knew that it was going to be bad. They did not know it was going to be this bad. Here we go. Here's another problem with identity and going forward for Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. And this is Dodge, your Chargers, your Challengers. So what the idea is to have some new products come out and to electrify them, have some EVs with the Chargers and Challengers. And here's the funny thing about it is, see, the customer that wants to buy a Charger and Challenger, they want to hear it. They want a muscle car, American muscle car. That's what they're buying. EVs are not going to appeal to that market. And Stellantis, what's comical, Stellantis knows this. So what are they putting into these new EVs and these new EV Challengers and Chargers? Well, they're building in digital sounds. So the actual EV sounds like a muscle car. It sounds like a gas car that these customers want. So Stellantis knows this. They put that in there, the fake sound of the engine roaring, right? And that's going to do it for the muscle car buying population. No, I don't think that's going to cut it. I want to show you, this is a 2025 model, so it's one of the new ones that just came out. Willys 4x4. MSRP on it's right at $60,000. You have a few add-ons here, it comes to $62,000. But I wanted to point out this one because, I mean, it looks great, and this seems like something that would sell really quickly. And I want to think about what is their competition. Well, their competition right now is, you think Ford Bronco. And what is Ford going through? Well, they have cut production on the Broncos because the dealers are overrun with them. So it seems like the segment of the population that's going to buy things like that Jeep back there, like the Bronco, they're just drying up. So then that brings back the point of, okay, well, maybe that segment of the population that wants those type of off-roading vehicles, off-roading looking vehicles, even if they're not going to use it for off-roading, that they're really priced out of the market right now, because it seems like that segment of the market is still there. They want to buy them. They love the Broncos. They love the Jeep Wranglers. But both companies, Jeep and Ford, are having a hard time moving those type of vehicles. And you're seeing that maybe we'll go back to price point. And a $60,000 Jeep Wrangler, it's not cutting it. It's not cutting it for a lot of these consumers, and they're backing out. And that's why Broncos, they're cutting production. That's why Jeep, you're seeing all these problems with Jeep right now, because these dealers cannot move this product. And here's a Jeep Compass I've seen that you can get free if you buy a Wagoneer at some of these dealerships. Price point, $30,000. And my question is, why even do that? Do you just need to get one extra one off your floor plan as a dealership? That seems like a ridiculous deal. Just take $30,000 off the Wagoneer. So I want to talk about one of the biggest problems that Jeep has faced and they have to overcome, and that's this right here. Not necessarily Jeep Grand Wagoneer, but this is the epitome of what the issue is. And I'm going to show you the price on this thing. It's a Grand Wagoneer, and this is the Obsidian 4x4, and the price of it is $100,000. $107,000 actually. But what I want to talk about is identity. Identity is the biggest problem right now that Stellantis as a whole is facing. So this last regime, they wanted to change the whole identity of the company. They didn't want to go for the rugged, the simple. That's what Jeep is known for. No, we want Wagoneer, we want luxury, we want luxury Grand Cherokees, we want price points that are going to be $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. We want to have high margin. We want to go to those customers that can afford to pay us that high margin. And what's happened? Well, that 70% profit decline in the last year, because these customers, what have they said? They've said no. In my opinion, Jeep was a good brand. And now they've thrown that away. They've thrown those customers away. And now they're paying for it right now. And we can see it in the numbers. And I hope with this new regime change, I hope with whoever the CEO that comes in recognizes that base that is there, but because it hasn't been that long ago that base was solid, and they were going to buy Jeep, and they were only going to buy Jeep. They're going to run that Wrangler into the ground, and then guess what? They were going to buy the next Wrangler. And I hope they can reclaim this brand as the simple, as the rugged, because they have all those customers that are waiting to be able to buy a product like that. And they've alienated those customers right now. And that's why you see behind me all these Wranglers sitting here, because they're $50,000, they're $60,000, they're $70,000, they're $80,000. And these customers who want simple, who want rugged, that's not the price point you're going to get them at. And they're not buying those Grand Wagoneers over there. And they're not buying these Grand Jeep Cherokees that are $80,000. You can't sell to them. You can't do it. That's not your base. That's not your base. We got to get back. If the brand wants to continue and wants to be successful, you got to get back to what you were. Simple, rugged, affordable. That's what we need. And right now you have dealerships that are very angry with Stellantis. You have Jeep dealers that are very angry that there are not enough incentives and not enough rebates that are coming from the manufacturer to help them move some of these Grand Wagoneers, some of these Wranglers, some of these Grand Jeep Cherokees. And here's the thing, they're probably not going to get a whole lot of help. They need it because we need money off to come down, but it's kind of a chicken and the egg kind of thing. You need money off, so you need incentives from the manufacturer to lower the prices. We also need to cut costs. So you can't cut costs and also lower the prices at these dealerships, because that costs a lot of money. So it's going to be very difficult for Stellantis to figure out, okay, how much money do we spend helping dealers sell their vehicles so they can take more vehicles, but we also have to save some money, so maybe we can't add as many incentives as we need to, but if we don't add incentives, we can't sell the cars, so what do we do? And that's something that Stellantis is going to have to figure out. It's going to be very difficult for them over the coming year. And it's been so bad at Jeep, Dodge, and Ram that they kicked out the CEO last year. Well, this was, I think, probably the best move that they could have done. Says he resigned, but you know what? They probably they probably had a foot on his backside while he was kind of leaning on the door, right? So he's out. I think this is the best move for them. He wanted to go a different direction, and that direction didn't work. That direction cost them 70% of profits last year. That direction caused these dealers to be overloaded with vehicles that they can't sell. That direction caused that thing over there, that monstrosity of a Grand Wagoneer, that's $110,000, $120,000. It's bad, it's bad. But we're moving in a hopefully better direction because we got the bad direction out of here. Now we're hopefully going to find someone who actually knows the car market and knows what people want and knows what price points they will actually pay, and hopefully we're getting to that direction. But the problem is, while we're waiting on that new direction to come, these dealerships right here, they're eating it right now. Because all these vehicles that's sitting on, all these Grand Wagoneers sitting on all these dealership lots, they've already paid for them. They got them in their inventory. They're paying interest on them right now. They're the ones taking the losses at this moment. Now, they ate very well. They ate very well for 3 years. Don't get me wrong. They made tons of money. Hopefully they put all that money back, because now they're having to use a lot of that money to be able to stomach having this thing still sitting on their lot. And they're going to take a lot of money off to actually move them. And this wording is actually funny. So we have analysts that cover the stocks, that cover the earnings of a lot of these companies, and their quote, two words: clear deterioration. That's the definition of Stellantis right now. It's not only deterioration and what we're forecasting for that, but it's clear, and we can see how clear it is, and we can see from price points how clear it is. Right there, $42,000 for this Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it's still not being purchased. And we can see from Grand Wagoneers, $107,000. That's the direction that they're trying to go. Luxury, clear deterioration. That's what we can see. We can see with our eyes. It's clear. Let's talk about tariffs that might happen. Maybe not, maybe happen. But anyway, even if tariffs don't happen, we already have supply chain increase costs that are coming across the market just because inflation is continuing to tick up. Labor costs are continuing to tick up. When you have cost of goods that go up, you have to have wages that go up, and then you have cost of goods that go up, and then you have wages that go up. It's a wage price spiral that we are in right now. It's going to continue. You have the UAW continuously down the backs of all these manufacturers to increase wages, constantly at fight. So you will have wages that go up. And when you have all of these prices that go up, well, what do you do in a lot of cases when you're a company? Well, your prices have to go up. But here's the thing: on these Jeep, Dodge, and these Rams over here, we have Wranglers sitting over there. We have Gladiators that they have to cut production because the price points are too high. These customers are not going to be able to stomach even higher prices than what we have now. So the manufacturer is going to have to eat it. Now in the short term, let's say we have tariffs come into the system with prices going up. The manufacturers are going to try to push that onto the customer. But customers are already not buying vehicles at the moment. So if you have prices that go up from here, then the demand's going to even further go down. So it's not going to be a situation. In my opinion, I believe that the companies are going to have to stomach all of these tariffs when they get put into place, because the customers, they're already saying no right now. You increase the prices by 10, 20%. Are they going to say yes at that point? No, it's going to be even worse. All right, so with the cash burn that's coming from Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, here's the plan, or here's what's going to cost. It's going to cut in spending. That's the easy one, right? We're going to cut labor. We're going to cut production. We're going to cut everything that we can, advertising things to actually save money. And here's actually the good one that I think is going to happen: a delay in EVs. I don't think that the customer who wants an EV right now, this might change as the market shifts more towards more EVs. You're going to have more manufacturers that offer EVs. But right now, in this market right now, if you're buying an EV, there's really one big player. That's at least in the U.S. And I don't think that it's a bad move for if they're trying to find ways to stop the cash burn a little bit. That's the first place I think I would go if I was the CEO. Maybe this is my application for the new CEO of Stellantis. Send me an email. You know what? I would even just take CEO of Jeep. I would rather have that. I don't want the big job. Just give me let me be the CEO of Jeep. Let's get away from EVs. That's my first action. Action item. That's what we're putting in bullet points. We're going to have like 3 bullet points. No EVs. We're going to lower prices, and we're going to make simpler products. Done. Rugged, simple, affordable. There we go. And no EVs. We'll put that in quotations at the end. But that's number 1 bullet point. They talk to Ford. That was a big cash burn and didn't work. And right now in this market, it's coming. It's coming, right? The EV shift eventually will happen. There will be a lot more EVs on the road. We're not there yet. Let's not burn cash on it right now when we're struggling this bad. Good decision whenever they're trying to find ways to save some money. Let's get away from the EV experiment, at least for right now. Let's wait till somebody else figures out it works.